When you open your Eclipse IDE, it will be starting like this. So the first view will be like this. If you are not able to see similar view, then go to the search icon and type Java here. Under the section perspectives, you will find Java. You have to click this. When we click on Java perspective, then this view is modified a little. A perspective is basically all the support we require for Java project that is provided by this perspective. Support here is compilation and execution environment for Java programs. So let's create a Java project. I am able to see Java project here, but if you are not able to see, then go to other, type Java, select Java project, click next, give a name to your project, like I am giving sample. Rest of the things you can leave as such. Click on next, then leave this screen as such and click on finish. Now this sample project is created. Here you can see JRE is available automatically. Whenever a new project is created, this JRE library is appended to this project. This kind of support is provided by this Java perspective. So to compile and execute, you will see in a few minutes, everything is provided at hand. We don't have to do much, we just need to write our program and we are good. Click on this SRC, this is package. Let me create a class. Right click on SRC, go to new and class. You can see here package, class, interface. We can define anything. For now, we are going to create a new class, create a Java class. Let's name it demo class. Here we have option to include public static void main also. If we check this, then we are able to add this automatically. Click on finish. Let it open. See, inside this demo class, we have this main method automatically created. This is the beauty of IDE. I'm not gonna use these, so I'm going to remove so that this view is a bit larger. You can adjust this view by hovering over this line, this thin line. When you hover over this, then this arrow is converted into this symbol and you can drag this according to your screen size. I can resize this also. Yeah. So our first program we learned was the printing hello world. So we used system.out.println. Here we can see a lot of suggestions. The methods we can use at this point are provided by this suggestion box. Now we are going to print a string, so we are using this. Double click on this. You can also see what does this mean. Like if I click on this println, inside this suggestion box there is another window open and this will define what it does exactly. Print a string and then terminate this line. You can check for any method. So let's go back to this program and provide a string here inside double quotes. Hello, this is my first program in Eclipse IDE, right? Save this class, Control S. You can see we don't have to compile, because if we write anything here, the Java compiler will automatically show us errors here, like test. This is not something we have defined. Java cannot recognize this. Test cannot be resolved. This is the compilation issues we are going to see in editor itself. This is the editor window where we can edit. This one is the editor window. Okay, so let's remove this, and this star will show that this class is unsaved. Save this class by pressing Ctrl S. Now right click on this editor anywhere. Right click will open this menu and run as Java application. If you click on Java application, then its output will be displayed in this console window inside this IDE. So this is the beauty of IDE. You can see compilation errors in this editor, and you can execute and see your output in this console window within this IDE screen, within one single screen. I already have shared you multiple examples. These were covered from here only. Let's go to the first example. Yeah. Let's close the previous one. This was the class where we learned how to declare variables. Now this first variable, name. This variable name is of type string and it is assigned value. It is having value inside these double quotes. This is first character of type character and assigned a value. Similarly, a number 10 is assigned to any number. And we are printing these all three variables. So to execute, again right click on this editor and run as Java application. We will see the output. See, Kamal, K10. All the three variables, name, first character and any number, all are printed. Inside Java classes, code is executed line by line. So we first have printed name. So name is printed as it is. First character is printed second. In console output, we are going to see character on the second line. Similarly, any number is on the third line. We can define any kind of variable like this. Next, we learned array. So this was the class where we defined example array of type integer. This example array will hold integer type values. As we are assigning 10 elements, so we have used this new operator and passed 10 here, so that this will imply Java to create memory for 10 integers and assign to this variable. This line will allocate memory. Before this line, this is just declaration. Int example array, this is just declaration. Till now, no physical existence of example arrays. But after execution of this line, when we write this example array is equal to new int 10. This will allocate memory behind the scenes, and now 10 elements will exist physically. In the next line, we have assigned the values to this array. Like at index 0, we have assigned first element. At first index, we have assigned value 2. Similarly, all the indexes we have assigned values. And to print, we have used system out println, and which index we want to show, we have printed. Now let's execute. There is one more way to execute this program. Here you can find the symbol run array demo. This is our class name. This is our class name. You can check here. This is a symbol of run. Now there are two methods, run as Java application, or you can, if you can remember this command, you can also use this Alt Shift X. If I am pressing Alt Shift X, then this menu is popped up and it was showing J. So here it is. If I press J, then it is executed. See, here is the output. We can also, I click inside this editor and run array demo. See, again, there are multiple ways to execute our Java program, whatever we have selected. Now I'm not able to see this output completely, so what I will do, I will shift this a little bit up so that I can see the complete output. So you can choose any one method to execute our Java programs. Next, we learned this one. Now we have put so many efforts, like this one line for declaration, this for initializing array to allocate memory behind the scenes, and then assigning values. Writing so much code, we have another way to do so. By using just one line, we can achieve the same output. If I use this, there are 10 elements, and to print the same example array of type int, but in the same line we have assigned value 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, yeah, and 10. Let me comment this line for a second, because we are going to print values first. Let me execute, then I will explain. Java application, and see again the same output. Whatever we achieved here in these much lines, first we declared array, then we allocated memory for 10 elements, then we assigned values to these 10 numbers. So all this can be done in one line. Here we don't have to use this new operator. Using this one line, we are defining example array the same way of type integer and assigning value directly. So behind the scene, it will automatically allocate memory for the number of elements we pass here. Let's remove these, because we have seen the output, it will be same. In this class, if we don't know the number of elements and we want to find the number of elements, how many we have defined, then I have explained this length variable, which can be used to identify the length of this example array. So let's test this. How many elements are there? It should print this. Run as Java application, and 10. Let's check this. I remove some elements. Let's say I have removed 2 elements and 3. Now it should print 7. 7. So we don't have to bother about defining how many elements we are going to define. If we are using this way, we can directly assign the values and use this array. There are 2 ways we have now. If we know the number of elements, we can use this method, and if we don't know the number of elements, then we can use this way. After that, we learned about class, how class is a blueprint. So we defined this car blueprint, which is having states, speed and gear, and behavior as change gear, speed up, apply brakes. And this method print states, which is used to display what speed and what gear is currently the car is having. So to execute this class car is not having any main method. If you right click on this, and we are not getting any Java application because this is not having any main method. That is why we are not seeing any Java application option here. Our main work is just to define logic, just to write classes, and rest is left for Eclipse IDE. We defined another class car demo where we are going to use this car blueprint and created 2 cars like this. We are creating 2 cars, car 1 and car 2. Car 1, we are defining this car as of type car, and this new operator, as I told, this will be allocating memory and bringing this variable car 1 in memory, in physical existence. So this is the way how we define how we allocate memory behind the scenes for anything. In array demo, we allocated memory for integer type. Now we are using car as blueprint and we are now creating objects. So new car. This is the way we are going to allocate memory for different data types. Now these 2 cars are created. Let's say for first car, I am applying speed up by 10. Now speed up, what was that? Speed up was any integer number which is passed in this method will be incremented, like speed equal to speed plus increment. What was the speed initially? Speed was 0 and we have passed 10. So speed plus 10, 0 plus 10 is assigned again to this variable speed so that it can hold this value. Otherwise it will be lost. If we are using this only, then this value will be lost. We have assigned the incremented value again to speed variable. The speed state is holding the current value after even increment 10. For first car, I have used speed up 10. Next is change gear, and I have changed the gear to 2. What this method will do? Change gear. The new value will be assigned directly to gear. Initially it was 1. Now I have changed it to 2. Right? Print states will print this speed and gear. One thing you can notice here is this is inside quotes. So it will be printed as it is, and speed is variable here. So its value will be printed along with this speed, and then similarly for gear, inside this double quotes will be printed as it is, and gear whatever value is currently holding. Execute this and see. Now let's do this way. Run car demo. we have printed the states for car 1, speed 10, gear 2. This was the expected output, right? Because we have speed up by 10 and then change the gear to 2 and print states. This method was printing current state of speed and gear, current values of. Speed was having 10 because we speed up by 10 and change the gear to 2. Now car 2, we speed up the car 2 by 10 and then change the gear to second. We are testing it by speeding up again by 10 and changing the gear to 3. What should be the output? It should print speed as 10 or 20 because we have done it twice. And also the gear we have changed from 2 to 3. So according to, although I have already printed, but you should think before seeing the output. Here speed is 20 and gear is third. This is the expected because we have applied speed up twice. And what was speed up doing? Speed up was incrementing value. First time we applied, when we executed this line, speed up 10, then speed is equal to speed plus increment. Speed was 0 initially. Speed was 0 plus increment 10. Speed then have the value 10 till this point. Now we again applied speed up by 10. What it will do? It will add this value 10 again to the speed. Now speed was having value 10. 10 plus 10. This speed variable will hold the value 20, which is incremented by 10 again. Right? So that is why it has printed 20. Similarly for gear. We have changed, first we changed that gear to 2 and then to 3. When gear was changed to 2, then it was assigned directly. We are assigning any new value whichever is passed to gear. Now gear is having 2, but when this line was executed, change gear 3, then we were having gear value as 3. So this is how we create blueprints for defining states and behavior by creating objects of our blueprint car. This is the way of creating objects for blueprints. And we can apply methods. Okay, let's create one more car. Car 3 is equal to new car. Now you can see one more thing here, car 3 dot. As soon as I type dot, it will show me suggestions. And you can see all the states here. Gear and speed were our states, and apply brakes, change gear, print states, speed up. All the methods are also visible here in the suggestion box. We are also seeing another methods. We will learn it later, but for now we are having the menu in suggestion box as gear, speed, and all the methods of class car. We can use any one of those. Speed up by 50 and car 3 dot I'm going to print. 3 values should be printed. See, speed 50 and gear 1. I haven't changed the gear, so it will print gear value as 1. Like we have created 3 instances, right? Car 1, car 2 and car 3. For every car we have different set of speed and gear. That is why their values are not mixed up. I have created now car 3, so it's having separate copy of speed and gear. Its speed is different than what we have changed the speed of car 2. It is now not added, 50 is not added to this 20. All these are different. If you have watched the previous video of explaining object-oriented programming concepts, I have explained there are a lot of cars, there are a lot of similar cars. So each car is having its own gear, its own speed. Similarly, in Java, we are achieving this. Its car 3's speed is not gonna impact car 2's speed. This can be, we can see here. Next, we learned inheritance. We defined a luxury car which inherits the properties of car. How this is inheriting? Let me show you. Inside this car demo, this luxury car, we don't have any method, any state, right? But it is extending car. Let's create a new car, luxury car. I'm creating car 4 of type luxury car, right? Again, new car, new. We are defining it of luxury car. So if you press Ctrl space at any point, you will see suggestions. Like I'm not going to type everything. So there is, I just typed LU and Ctrl space. I am seeing different suggestions. I am going to use this luxury car because we have in OOPS package. So I am seeing 2 different values. Inside demo package also I have luxury car. See, inside demo package we have luxury car. So I am having 2 luxury car. This is why it is showing me 2 suggestions. I am going to use this OOPS concept, this OOPS package luxury car. Double click on this and it will print, it will type for me. Line termination symbol, semicolon, car 4. Now we don't have anything for luxury car, right? Now let's check. Car 4 dot. But we have not defined here anything, but it is showing from class car, gear, speed, apply brakes, change gear, print state, speed up. Without writing a single line of code for this luxury car again, we have all the properties of car automatically by using just this keyword extends. The blueprint we have extended is automatically inside this luxury car. So this is the concept of inheritance. Let me remove this, otherwise it will show error. And similarly, we can define sedan car, right? Next, we learned the concept of interface. Instead of defining this blueprint, what we did, we defined interface, like the example of remote. We just can see change gear, speed up, apply brakes. There is no method definition here. These are just declarations. You cannot find body here, right? In that video, we learned the syntax for implementing interface. Luxury car. Luxury car implements car. Now this car is the interface. I symbol here represents interface. In this luxury car, this car was class. Oops.car. C for class. Actually the name is same, so it might be some confusing, but implements car, and car you can hover over this. When you take your mouse over this, you can see demo.car. Demo is our package, and here is this little I over this also. Implements car. We have to define these states here and define these methods. The body which we defined in this blueprint, now in terms of interface, we have to define inside implementing class the same code. Sedan car. Yeah, let me remove this, and let's take a class sedan car and implements car, right? As soon as I finish this typing of car interface, then it will show me compile time error. We don't have to execute javac command again and again. As soon as we finish typing, it will compile automatically behind the scenes, and we are getting errors here. What are the errors? You can see here. If you go to this red icon, you will see multiple markers at this line. The type sedan car must implement the method change gear from interface car. It is showing me error for every method which we haven't defined yet. So you can, if you don't want to type anything, you can use this. 2 quick fixes available, add unimplemented methods. If I click on this, it will automatically generate these methods: change gear, speed up, and apply brakes. So all these tasks are getting easy by this IDE. It provides us such kind of facilities. If you have any doubt in this session, you can post it in comment section and I will help you out.